Hey friends, this is Eric the Micro Guy. A friend of mine sent me something came off of Rumble, and apparently the White House dodo bird has signed some executive order stuff that basically going to try and take us out of cash. Call it Biden bucks. Talk about that Bitcoin, digital currency, electronic currency, where paper will be obsolete. They can just take your money anytime they want to. They don't like your purchases. Freeze your Bitcoin or your digital currency. You can't spend it. Know everything about you. Getting worse and worse and worse, just like the conspiracy theorists of old who tried to tell us this decades ago, and all the Marxist leftist a-holes and all the other dumbasses. I said, oh, you guys are a bunch of tinfoil hatters, blah blah blah. Well, guess what? It's all coming true. It's been coming true for a long time. And the dodo bird in the White House, Secret Service, I guess, was calling him Eagle. I call him Dodo Bird. And a lot of this stuff is just unconscionable that's going on. And I'm thinking, they got people who are professionals who are on the inside. People who are in the military, Green Berets, Marine Recon, Army Rangers, Delta Force, Navy SEALs, PJs, and other units that are not even known. Demolition crews. They got people out there who are professionals on the inside, who are trained, who work as teams, who know how to get things done. Well, my suggestion is people say, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, these professionals that know how to do things, whether they're still in or whether they've done their time and got out, folks in the private sector, professional security, a certain amount of these guys are all, former Delta Force, Green Berets, Rangers, SEALs, all the above. For those people on the inside that have the information, that know where a lot of their computers are, they're going to do this digital thing. What's to say that some of these folks can't get some of their teams together, organized, and go blow their damn computers and set the Biden bucks and the digital surveillance age and all that back to the Stone Age? Because these guys are professionals. These guys have traveled all over the world doing the dirty work, so to speak, and a lot of times get thrown to the wolves afterwards. I just wanted to put this out there because the popularity of my channel is growing, and I'm sure they got certain people at the Pentagon and at the company that watch the channels of people like myself and countless others. But after 18 years, people are finally listening to me. And I started thinking, you know what? Maybe if some of these professionals who were in special ops, they were in demolitions, they know how to get things done. They know how to take things out. And there's a certain amount of these folks that might be their occupation, but they're still on the right side. Some get out because they get disgusted, they get tired of doing the dirty work, and then getting thrown to the wolves. Seeing their brothers and sisters getting thrown to the wolves. That's not what they signed up for. So when they got this Biden bucks, digital currency, just more and more control the people on the inside of the intelligence community, and they got folks on both sides in that world. I think the ones that still got a good heart, still got a good conscience, maybe it's time that some of you folks, some of you professionals can get together and find out where some of this stuff is located and just start doing what you do and blow the hell out of their computers. Blow the hell out of their systems. Take their electronic system down. Fry the damn thing. And if you really want to get down to brass tacks, I said this quite some time ago on a video I made some years back. I said, you really want to start the beginning of taking it all down? Well, when Mr. Trump was in office, when they were having to deal with ISIS, and they launched a thing called Moab, Mother of All Bombs. You want to start taking it all down? Moab, the house of Rothschild, with every last Rothschild in it. And then do Rockefeller. All the major globalist bankers. Take every one of the sons of bitches out. All these elitist high up sons of bitches who run the pedophile rings. The Delta Force, SEALs, SF. Those guys are trained doing snatch and grab. Those guys know how to get things done. Time to go after the top sons of bitches and start working your way down. Bust it up. The Hollywood, bust it up. All of them. These guys have the know-how, they have the training, and they have the toys. And a lot of them even have the intel. Harvey Weinstein was the one they threw to the wolves. There's a lot of others out there. Even some of these former child stars, former child actors that scream at the top of their lungs about it. Like Corey Feldman. Even that goofball Justin Bieber told people to get your kid out of the entertainment industry. Because the sons of bitches that run these various entertainment industries, you know, they're not the guy in the bushes with the trench coat going, my some little girl wants some candy. No, it's not that guy. It's the guy with the polished, fancy degree on his wall, suit and tie, multi-million-dollar home, prestigious, polished up positions. People would never think some of these dirtbags, especially some of these ones in Hollywood, politicians, elitist officials, that are the ones who actually run the show. Earlier this morning, on my Facebook group site, I put up a book that happened many, many years ago in Nebraska. It's called The Franklin Cover-Up. As far as non-fiction books go, no book ever made me go into withdrawal. I mean, after reading it, after the last page, I was just kind of like, I was absolutely gut-wrenched. And all the people involved in the Franklin cover-up were high-up, polished-up officials. Polished-up officials were the ones that ran the satanic, Luciferian pedophile ring. There, like I said, there are those in positions in the world of intelligence of any flavor, every flavor you can think of in the world of intelligence. There are still those people that do have a conscience. Special Forces, Green Berets, Delta Force, Rangers, SEALs, BJs, Marine Recon, various echelons of law enforcement. some end up getting out of it because they're disgusted. They're like, this is not what we signed up for. We didn't sign up to protect those bastards. We signed up to take them down. Now, who in the hell is giving the order telling us to back off and let these rich pedophiles run loose? You know, I stumbled onto something a number of years ago, and when I was listening to Coast one day here a couple of years ago, they had one of these guys who was a guest investigator, and it dealt with the whole Charles Manson thing. It happened back in '69. And something interesting, something that I read, and this guy verified it. We've heard all kinds of things about Charles Manson. Everything from he was just some beatnik hippie, all this, that he was CIA, that he was MK Ultra, and all this kind. We've heard all this stuff. One thing that stuck out that I stumbled onto, that my wife actually found on the net, and it said verbatim what I discovered when I read some book. I think it may have been in the Franklin cover-up, but I can't be for certain. But you can get the Franklin cover-up on Amazon. It's still there today. But the guest on George Noory verified what I said. All these interviews, all these documentaries that was done on Charles Manson for all those years up until he died a few years ago, and the girls who were with him, even though some of these interviews might go on 3 or 4 hours, we only get to see what they want us to see in the interview. We never hear this question asked. But this guest on George Noory verified what I said when I brought this up. And if what I said and what the guest verified was indeed true, then that turns the Charles Manson case upside down on its head. What it was Charles Manson, way back in the day, back in the 60s, was a fairly well-known entertainer. Whether you want to call him street performer or what, he used to hang out with the Beach Boys and whatnot. And so he was a fairly well-known entertainer, guitar player. So he would get invited to do different gigs. And apparently he was invited, whether it was the Folgers, Abigail Folger and her other half, LaBiancas, that whole bunch, and he was invited up there to entertain. And shortly thereafter, sometime after being there, all of a sudden he bolted. He couldn't get out of there fast enough. What was it that made Charles Manson want to leave? And we hear about the elitists running all these deviant activity. Nobody wanted to believe it back then, but people are willing to believe it now. And apparently, in one of his very first interviews, Charles Manson was asked, why did you have your people go up there and kill all those people? Why'd you do it, Charlie? Manson's answer was, well, they were making kiddie porn, weren't they? Don't you think they deserve to die? If that was the case, if the Folgers and all the others that were whacked up there, a certain amount of them anyway, if they were actually involved in making kiddie porn back then, and the elitists were a part of it, I mean, how do you go to the authorities when it's the authorities that are involved? And the most prestigious politicians that were involved. How do you go to them? It reminds me back in the early 90s when the prosecutor in Los Angeles, district attorney, we heard about the Heidi Fleiss, the Madam of Hollywood. And she had a little black book with all kinds of names. All kinds of real prominent names. prosecutor, he wanted that book. Not because he wanted to go after these people and prosecute them, but so he could destroy it. Yep. Back then, all these elitists with all this money and prestige could have anything they want. Why do the deviants want to mess with kids? Child trafficking, all that stuff. And apparently, when he was invited to entertain, Charles Manson discovered this. And because of who was there, he realized he couldn't go to the authorities because it was the authorities who were running the show. And that's why he sent his people in there to take them out. Because they were making kiddie porn. And if that is indeed true, well, it's no wonder we never hear those questions asked when you watch the old documentaries of Charlie Manson. We see Charlie Manson acting crazy. Behaving the way they wanted him to behave. We only see what they want us to see. Really makes you wonder. Was he just a madman that wanted to rule the world? Charlie Manson was what, 5'1", 5'2"? Just a little guy. A beatnik. Didn't have a pot to piss in. As crazy as Charles Manson was presented to the world, was he really that crazy? Think about it. If what he said was actually true, if the reason he actually had his people go up there and just butcher the people that were involved of what he said were making kiddie porn, well, that turns the whole Manson case up on its ears. And why in these cases does so much stuff get hidden? So much of this kind of evidence gets destroyed, gets hidden. Oh, we'll call that classified. What's classified? Oh yeah, we're committing crimes that we don't want anyone to know about, so we're going to hide behind chicken shit classified. I know I'm probably going to get mixed reviews on this video, but I've been needing to say that for a long time. I've been needing to say that for a while. And like I said, a guest on George Norrie's show, who had been looking into all that for years, verified what I said. Verified it. That Charles Manson was asked the question in one of his earliest interviews of why did he have those people killed, and his answer was, well, they were making kiddie porn, weren't they? Don't you think they deserve to die? And unless it's been yanked off, my wife did find that on the internet. It may still be up there. I don't know. But anyway, I just needed to vent, so I'll talk to you when I do, friends. Take care. Eric the Mind Control Guy, signing off.